There we go. Now I got a StreamYards going. Y'all, want to come up, chat, talk, yell, scream, whatever you want to do. I don't care. It's here. It's here for you. I'm tired. I am tired though. I tell you that. Come on, come on. There's the StreamYard link. That's chicken. Yeah. Don't be scared. I won't bite you. Internet. Hey, Spirit, what's up, buddy? Hope you're good, man. I really hope you're good. Why is it doing that? I'm offline on this thing. There it goes. That's trying to go through. Dang goofy ass thing. You might. I might what? I might be offline. I don't know how we're talking then, but it's saying it says connect to the internet. You're offline. Check your connection. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Well, yeah, my phone's on the internet. That's really interesting. So what we'll do is this. Yeah, see, I can get there. It just not let me into YouTube for some reason. I don't know. Try it again. Maybe I pissed off all of YouTube and everything else, and by exposing them for taking money and bribes from this company and everything else to shadow ban me. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now I can watch my own StreamYard if I want to. Says I got three watching now, and I must be one of them. I don't know what was going on there. That was sort of weird. Oh, I might bite. Well, oh, only certain ladies. Just saying, only certain ladies. Yeah, okay. Damn, I got the smoke from my cigarette in my eyes. So, Spirit, uh, again, like I said, man, I wish you were freaking, I wish you were freaking, I was there, not you were here. Excuse me. I was trying to say, I wish you were here. I wished I was there in Australia right now, man. That would be so freaking cool. I want to go fishing in Australia so bad. Every time I see y'all go and see them guys go down there to the beach and all that, I'm like, damn, I want to go fishing. I want to go fishing so bad. So I got a question for you, Spirit. Um, like like here in the states, some rivers have alligators and things like that in them. Is that the same as like in Australia? Like or do all of your rivers have like crocodiles and shit in them in Australia, or is it just some of them and not all of them? Whatnot. I was just curious about that. Spirit. And if you want to, you can come up on my. You can come up here, man. I don't mind. You know, up here. There you go. Okay, so like if you got further south, then you're all right. You don't have to worry about the crocodiles and all. That's pretty cool. That's a good thing to know. Hmm. Oh, cool, Spirit. Cool. And y'all going down there by the beaches and shit, that's just making me want to go there so bad. I'm telling you. Makes me want to go to Australia really bad. When I see your land and things like that that you're on, looks just like Florida, man. I'm telling you, really does. With that, got a notification for something. Lipstick was like, invalid name was like, invalid name. Man. Well, anybody gonna come up, you come up. Shit, this is where you need. This is where you can yell and scream at each other if you want to. Oh, okay, Spirit. I understand that, man. I understand that. I keep forgetting you're on the other side of the world. You're like hours ahead of me. Hell, might not stay here long myself. I'm getting tired. I feel tired. I ain't slept much today. I actually fell asleep at about 3 o'clock this morning till about 6. And I went and did a couple hours work that I had to finish up on, and then came back home. Yeah. Hey, hey, animals and poisonous animals that don't bother me, man. That don't bother me. I just have to learn it so I didn't die from it. That's all. But people, you always got to worry about people. The fishing is good. There you go. See that's all that counts, man. The fishing's good, man. That's all that counts to me. What's up? God dang, what the hell do you got going on there?
Oh, dude, I've got a lot of stuff going on. Just a second. Let me do this right. Uh, get rid of the. A second. There we go. There
There
we.
you go.
Yeah, how you been doing, man?
I've been doing other than trying to expose that company for what they're doing now to people.
Well,
I never.
Verizon Wireless sure as hell screwed me over. I'll tell you that.
Uh, well, Verizon, they're good at that.
They seem to be. They got themselves caught up in recording, and on it in emails, and then they try to tell me, "Oh, well, we don't honor our emails." Well, then you
Mhm.
don't honor your bills either, right? I don't
Right,
honor your bill. It's that's self evident. It takes care of itself.
right.
I can't believe it.
I
You say that's great. You've determined that yourself.
right. That's about like their Hasbro's trying to tell me they can't do anything with their subsidiary company when
No,
they're solely responsible for the actions of their subsidiary company.
well, I'm not exactly sure what the complaint is, but yeah,
Oh,
that's
the complaint is
everybody.
like I just talked about over there. They're screwing people out of money by manipulating the game to for certain people to win. Okay, it's been the same top 10 people for the last 4 years. Now
Oh,
they switch. The top 10 people have switched out in ranking on the top 10, but it's been the same top 10 people.
all right. Question: is this a game of skill?
It's supposed to be based on the Magic the Gathering game we were
Oh,
talking about with the cards.
yeah, no, that's all internal. I mean,
Yeah.
they sit there.
But they're manipulating the game now. They have manipulated the game now, and I've caught them in their cheating.
Right.
And then my service provider has tracked these cheating accounts back to their IP at Wizards of the Coast corporate headquarters. So,
Well,
so
if
I'm
anyone going to
I'm wanting to bust them wide open. They also were being very racist. They lied to the people saying they had a black people make the art on some of these new cards that they just put out. That they didn't. They don't even have a black artist at all in their company, and they made it look like hell. I The memes that I seen Teresa R make of Salty Rant
yeah.
look closer to Salty Rant than them cards did to a black person, in my opinion.
Wow.
And some of the art that they've had on.
What was your favorite art and flavor text? The little thing. My favorite was Troll Bomb.
A
It's
Joe Bomb was pretty cool.
Yeah, it showed a troll running away with a birthday present, and
Yeah,
it sit there and it said on the bottom, "Neat trick, but do you think we could teach him to throw it?"
right. Yes, yes. I remember that card. That
I
card cracked
love
me
that
up.
card. Oh my god! Yeah,
Uh,
neat trick.
pro-
We'll teach him.
probably the best art card as far as my concern was. There was it was called Timberwolf, and it was in
Oh,
beta. It
yeah,
was
it
in beta.
was
That
green.
that
It
That
green.
card was beautiful, man.
What was it? It was a 2/1 creature, right?
Yep. Yep. 2/1 green creature.
The one
That card was
ones I
beautiful the
had,
way
I
they
can't
did it.
remember what it was a blue card, and that was um, it was one of the Looking Glass cards, and it had such a wonderful mechanism on the face of it, but it was
Yeah.
made out of all ice. The entire compass and the timepiece was made out of ice, and you could actually
Yeah.
see through the prism on it. It was
Right.
really cool. You remember that one?
Yep, I do. Stasis was a pretty cool, good looking one. It had like a dome over it, an island with a dome over it, and everything's not moving in it.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I played a couple of them lockdown decks where they just raise your cards on the table.
Yep.
That's the reason why I came up with the deck I did
Right.
in response to that, because I got tired of, having to take the full weight of whatever they were able to put in there. So I decided that whatever opposition I had, I just turn it around, aim it right back at you, mirrors,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah,
several
but once
cards.
I was able to lock down your mana, you were done. That's what
A
that
lot of
Stasis
people
deck
run
that
80,
Stasis
90
deck did
cards
that.
in their deck. I only had 60 cards in my deck. No one could figure it out.
That's all I ever ran with my Stasis deck was 60 cards, man. Ever made a deck
Yeah,
over
those
60
decks.
cards.
They were fun to play. Decks over.
Mhm.
They were just simply fun to play because, you
I
can
actually
all
made
sorts
money.
of weird combos in those extra cards.
I never went past state ranking
Mhm.
because I at the time I was also running a store in Missouri too, so I didn't want to have to shut down the store. I couldn't. I had two employees under me, and they weren't making much. But they were happy with what they were making. I couldn't afford much because I was trying to build the store. But I didn't want to shut down the store either, and they didn't get their money and I wasn't making money uh, that way. So I never went past state ranking on playing Magic the Gathering, but I used to make decent money doing tournaments playing Magic the Gathering, and
I only lost it.
uh,
My girlfriend and my roommate, they were very long running roommates. Okay.
mhm.
She was my girlfriend first, and then she broke up with me, but it wasn't, a breakup. It was just, oh, I'm going over here now, you know?
Mhm.
And so we lived together for a better part of 4 years.
Yeah.
Um, and we all played Magic. But the thing of it is, I remember getting a $700 or $800 paycheck that just came out of the blue. And by the time I got home, I actually still owed the card uh, shop another $100.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, the thing of it is, I was a regular customer there, and that's how we were buying cards. We were buying them by the box and then reselling, any of the commons.
Right. Hey Karen M. Hey Mister or yeah, Mrs. Dillenback. The only house Cammy has is a house of cards, Magic the Gathering cards. Cool. I like that. I
Yeah,
wish I actually had some of them cards back that I had from
I
beta.
still have part of one of the 80 decks around here somewhere. It's the only thing left of it. But
I had some of the beta cards back and some of the Ice Age cards you were talking about,
yeah,
the Arabian Nights cards. Some of them are like hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally.
oh God, yes, that's what I was trying to say. It was the the spell. There was five.
Oh, the Black Lotus is a $1
Spell.
million
Black
card.
Lotus is one of them, but there was five spell cards for the black or for lands. Those the six I never was able to get.
Yep.
Okay, they were just so damn rare. I mean, I don't even think there was one in the state of Illinois when I was playing.
I don't know. I've only seen a few of those spell cards you're talking about, I've only seen one Black Lotus, and that was it was a guy. He traveled around and he had like a
The only
traveling
one I ever
museum.
seen was an online tournament where they were streaming. When they first had streaming online, they actually tried it out. I think it was Yahoo. You could actually go video
Yep.
stream, and they were streaming a tournament, and this guy didn't announce it. He just pulled out that Black Lotus, and everybody just hit the floor. You
Yep.
know, it's just one of those cards that bring silence for the next minute and a half, please.
Yep.
We're
Yeah.
among-
Let's all worship the card,
Yeah.
basically. I never got that much into Magic the Gathering as far as what worship cards, but I did have some. I did have some
I mean,
killer
I
decks.
wasn't really into it, but I mean, I don't know how I wound up watching that match. It was because, like I said, my roommates were that into. I mean, they didn't do tournaments. They had games every day, twice a day. Whether it was at home or whether it was at the restaurant, meeting people. I mean, we'd take over a restaurant, though, man. We get games going,
Oh,
man.
the restaurants loved us when we went there. The restaurants loved us when we went there because most of them were like pot smokers that played Magic the Gathering in the group that I was with, and they go out behind the restaurant, go get stoned, and then come back in and order food.
Yeah. I mean,
They loved us.
yeah, we were better than the rock and roll crowd. Or what was the other ones that was doing the store thing? They had Pokemon didn't even come out then.
Dude, Mrs. Dillenbeck, that wasn't stacks of cards. That was actually 2 decks that I wound up buying for $14.95 a piece. And they were 60 card decks with a 15 card side.
Things were the first Beanie Baby sales. Okay, these things literally were, and you didn't buy them because you needed them. You bought it because you didn't have that one.
Right. Right, there you go.
And the sales they ranged anywhere from $2 to $7 for a deck. So I mean, it wasn't outrageous in order to go ahead and just drop $10. Oh, I'll take that deck there. So these collections went off the hook. My collection was valued somewhere around $80,000.
Wow.
And I never realized over a 3 or 4 year period that I had spent a lot of them I did for trade were outrageous trades and stuff like that. But I didn't realize that I had actually done that until and you may know her, it's Skunkwater. Skunkwater ran off with my deck. You could tell her that. She ran off with my collection.
Oh wow.
But I had all the dual lands. They wouldn't let me play with the Ankh of Moriah.
All right.
That stayed prominently on a shelf inside of a book frame just to show that it was in the house. They wouldn't let me play with it.
I was talking about that fireball deck. See, I can pull that off in 3 rounds.
Oh yeah.
Because I needed an ornithopter, the fireball, and then I forget what that other one was. And I could in 3 rounds I had that pulled off, and and then I had an infinite fireball. Because all it did was the ornithopter got thrown back to my hand. I the one artifact, and then I threw it back down. As soon as that did, it tapped that artifact that threw it back to my hand and gave me a mana. So it was just continuously.
That's kind of like a return deck. How many return decks did you wind up playing against? I mean, we had a couple of guys that had return decks that were awesome. Not only did they return cards from their deck, they also returned cards from yours. And it was weird because they would sit there and pull a creature out of my graveyard, put it back on the table, enchant it, and then sacrifice it, and you got like 10 damage. I can't remember the combo, but I mean, that was some bizarre shit there.
My favorite thing wasn't that. I used to do something similar to that, but it was I would throw an enchantment on your creature and it made you sacrifice it. Well, as soon as you sacrificed it, the instant sorcery let me throw the enchantment right back into my hand, so it didn't go to the graveyard.
Right. Well, I had a lot of one mana. I played Clockwork. I played all the creatures from Clockwork. I think there were 6 of them. I had 6 blue that were all control. I had 6 black that were all poison, instant damage. Everything was instant damage. I had 6 fire, or I had three fireballs, and then 3. What was the other one? It was very much like it. There was a fireball. There was.
The goblin decks were badass. Period.
Oh God, yeah. That's where I
That little 1/1 swarm deck,
one
you
guy
know.
that just loved goblins. He had an all red deck, and believe it or not, it didn't matter how you protected against red, he'd get around it. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
My goblin swarm deck that I had, that's exactly what it did. Swarm. It just went so wide you couldn't.
and goblins
You
were
could,
so cheap; they're only 1
yeah,
and 2 mana all day
yeah,
long. You know. There
yeah.
was
And
only
then
like
you
like
had goblin catapult.
wasn't the Goblin King or something like that, like 5,
Yeah,
but it was one short of a dragon.
right. And
Oh, they
then
had
you
a
had
Goblin Dragon.
but the biggest one was the goblin catapult that went into that deck.
Oh
And
yeah,
you,
I remember that.
and,
That's
and then you get
sacrifice. And then
yeah.
what was the black card? You can convert to any class of creature.
Oh shit, I forget what that one
But
was.
you remember that? You sit there, you throw
Uh,
a breeding pit out,
yep.
okay, and you just sit there and convert that to anything you wanted, and you'd run all. And it was the all color decks that actually fascinated me. Because I mean the end of, the randomness and that's when I started getting the multi uh, lands, and I had every multi land there was, 2 or 3 of them as in fact for that, and they were hell, they were $150 cards,
Mhm.
and I had like 15 of them on my deck at least.
Right. I had all them multi lands. I had all that. I just never liked playing multicolored decks unless I was like playing a 2-colored deck. That's fine. I play a 2-colored deck all the time.
Deck and the burn decks, those were
Yeah.
my
And
buddy playing.
my favorite was white and green. White and green.
Like playing blue, black, and white. That made some strange
Yeah.
games out of it, but
Right. My favorite deck was a white and green deck back then. Elves and tokens, man. Just build your life up to 3,000 life and freaking and all of a sudden you just let it loose. Boom. And they're going, what the hell?
right.
And now some of these new cards that they have, if you had the combo, you get 100 life in no time, literally. There was one guy. There was one guy that did a combo. He had
in my channel at one time.
At one time, a long time ago. Yeah.
If you'd accept it, I'd like to give you a wrench back when you visit again.
All right.
Words today.
All right, Spirit. You get some rest, buddy. Sleep good. Yeah.
But it does come down to, the presence on the internet versus meeting someone in person. And yes, I've spent a few hours with Eric.
Right.
Looked at the files. He had access when he came and visited here. I had 2 egg crates on the floor. This is the real case, not the little piece of paper they're running around with. And anybody that's been in the movement knows that you can be falsely accused of anything at any time, or exaggerated and then charged. So,
well, I know I had a case put against me saying I threw a soda pop at a freaking store clerk and got thrown out of court because they said they had a video of it and they could never produce the video. And then finally, I had to ask the judge on the 5th month. I asked her if I could talk frankly, and of course she said, as long as you're respectful. I said, I will do my best to be respectful. And I came off. I said, you know, they've had 5 months to come up with this video. I said, now if we go past this point in time, and you decide to keep the court going past this point in time, and they do come up with the video, I want the state to analyze it to see if it's been tampered with in any way, shape, or form, and then I want to take it to my people
If you've ever
and have it tested.
which I'm learning how to do, it would take some amazing effort by the state in order to falsify a video.
No, it ain't. No, nope, 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 nope. It took them less than a day to falsify that black man down there in Atlanta, Georgia. It took them less than a day to falsify that because the first video came out of that black man being shot in the back by that cop down there. He had nothing in his hand that you could tell there was anything in his hand. And it looked more like he was pointing back at him like to tell him to leave him the fuck alone. Okay. That's what it looked like. The very first video that came out. Then the next day, they took that off, even off the evening news. They just talked about it. The evening news didn't even have it on it. Okay. Then the very next day, when they re-brought out that next video, he's got something yellow in his hand, and it's shooting. It's got a puff of smoke coming out the end of it.
Yeah, no,
that's how quick and easy it was for them to fake a video.
Yeah, no, that type of alteration, yes. But what I'm saying is an interaction with audio that is continuous.
That's right. Well, there wasn't there. It was supposed to be a security video. It was just supposed to be a security video from the store, and you know most of them don't have audio, so they weren't going to have audio. They were just going to have a picture. It's a thing of me throwing it at them.
If you're introducing something and you're trying,
I ain't blocked nobody's comments, Bobby Bishop.
Bobby Bishop's one of them people we don't need. Those are the people that.
Well, this is where everybody can say their shit, as long as it's not racist, and as long as it's not something that can get me kicked off the internet. They can talk their shit all they want. I don't care here.
I'm sorry.
I ain't blocking your comments.
In order to sit there and fall for these tricks that these prosecutors do, I'm sorry for you, dude. But unfortunately, you're dealing with people that have intellect, not emotional responses here. We have intellectual responses, not an emotional one. Oh my God, he has cooties. What kind of bullshit is that? You know, when it's, I mean, like, again, I mean, that's something I mentioned earlier. It's evidence, plain, evidence. It's self-evident.
No, I ain't protecting Mouse. Mouse can protect himself pretty damn good himself without my input.
Notice it's not so much that anybody doesn't know about those charges against me. It's
right.
The thing that I don't discuss in the law. I'll discuss anything else in the law except that, and I don't want people to believe that I'm trying to defend myself or something like that out here. I'm not out here for myself. I'm out here trying to spread word that we discover there's a problem and how to fix it. Yep. The only thing I want to hear about is how to fix it. I don't even want to hear about the problem. I just want to hear about the fix.
Right. I agree. That's about like this deal that, you know, I don't know how to fix them stealing people's money from that company. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless I take it to court, which I wouldn't have money to do right now. That would be the only other course I have. So I'm just getting it out there for people to see. You know what I'm saying?
Like I think by law that contests of that nature, but I would have, I mean, they can make it allowable that an employee would actually participate. But generally speaking, if you work for General Mills and they have a Cracker Box competition in order to be the most favorite whatever, the employees are forbidden for competing for that because that's promotional for the company.
Right, and that's what that freaking tournament is. It's a promotion for the company. I don't know if it's illegal or not, but when I'm showing the cheating and knowing it's coming from their IP address out of their freaking offices, if they're doing it to me, who I'm only a silver tier guy. I don't go past silver tier. Never have, never wanted to. Okay. Uh, if they're fucking with me in the game and I can catch the cheating, they're fucking with other people in that game that have put thousands of dollars into that game.
And
And when it seems like it's the same top 10 people for the last,
the more shallow that cheating becomes.
right. Well, the thing is, when it seems like it's the same 10 people getting the top 10 spots for the last 4 years, when you know they're at least back in 1999 or 1999, 2019, they had in 2019, they had over 20,000 people enter into that tournament, okay, on Magic the Gathering Arena. And it was the same top 10 people that won it in 2018 on Magic the Gathering Arena. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, 2020, the same people won it. It had the same top 10.
After you get to the 50th level, it's all reserved for special people.
Right. And it's people who won their way into that tier. So you can't tell me when there's 20,000 people entering into the freaking tournament, it's the same top 10 every damn time.
Right.
That starts looking a little bit off the wall.
Statistically, something's wrong with it. Like,
right.
5 minutes, there is, 500,000 votes for one person and not any votes for the other. That just simply was processed within 5 minutes. That's a statistical impossibility.
Right. And then you got like I said, you got them same people, and then you catch them actually manipulating the game from their Wi-Fi out of their corporate office to being caught doing it. Now I'm looking at this. Okay, if they're doing this to my little ass, what are they doing to manipulate to keep the same top 10 people in the top 10 spots?
The thing of it is, it's just simply closed above a certain level. That's all.
So
they
hey Chris Powers, thanks for the sub. Wow, Chris Powers just subbed me. If you're out there, Chris Powers, thank you.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for joining.
If he's out there, I mean, all I know is it just told me I just got a new subscriber, and it was Chris Powers, which was really cool on my notifications. But but you got to play in what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is you got to play to that tier. Okay.
Right.
Well, you got 20,000 people, and they got just as good a decks as anybody else. Okay. Out of that 20,000, you probably got 8,000 playing the same exact deck with the same exact cards, with the same exact amount of cards. Okay. The chances of the same top 10 getting there for 4 years straight is like 0.000000000.1, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, you lose the odds and go into improbability rather than probability.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds like something out of Starship Titanic or something.
Right, and that's why I and then but what really ticked me off though was they just did this promotion on cards saying they were trying to promote black artists. They ain't got a damn black artist in their freaking company. They just did a rundown. They had a whole week of everybody in the company there was no black person at all in that company. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To do the black artistry on these cards. So that was a straight up bald faced lie. Okay. Then they're sitting there going, the art looks like shit. Okay. I would be embarrassed to say I drew that and say it's a black person. Okay. And it's all because of Black History Month. So what they're doing is they're making these shitty ass looking cards that to make money off black people off Black History Month. That's it.
Right.
And depicting them in a lower form of
Oh,
card.
we made the black one a 6/7 creature.
Oh, okay, Chris Powers, cool. All we've been talking about is freaking really talking about a game I play on the internet that I caught being racist and then caught cheating in the in in their game and manipulating their game, which I thought was quite interesting.
Frustrating to say the least.
So I've been trying to get that out to people so they can
and have money like that. A lot of times do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just all friends, and this is the work that we do, and they're sitting on top of it. They'll manipulate it any way they want because they feel that that's their work, and they don't have to be honest about it. So
had that other channel. See, the reason I really brought this out is also it's showing how they're paying off, like YouTube and things like that, or doing something to get them to shadow ban me, because my other channel that's nothing but Magic the Gathering. When I started talking about the actual cheating in the game, the they I went from having 3,000 views on one video, 1,000 on another, and 5,000 on another video to I just put up what 7 videos, and they've been up for 4 days now, and I ain't even had a view on them. So, but the account ain't suspended. You see what I'm saying? It's not like I did a community strike, got a community strike, and they took away my channel for a while. It's that no one's seen or getting anything, including because this account is actually sub to that other account. And I did it on purpose, and I put those 7 out, and I waited for 4 days to see if I would get a notification for them. I never got a notification for those other videos ever. So that was quite an interesting thing as well. So I've been shadow banned on my other account completely.
Well, my channels are being shadow banned. Anything I use for controversy has been shadow banned, but it's just something we have to deal with. I have WDRN. I've never used those channels for any controversy or anything. So
right. So that's what I've been. That's why I decided to bring it over here on this channel. I have quite a few subs over on that other channel too. That, like I said, you go from 5 to 3,000 and then none. You see what I'm saying? That means even people that are subscribed to me are not getting the notification that there's a new video out.
Right.
So that's how far they're going. But like I said, I can still go live on the account. I can download onto the account and everything else.
It just doesn't.
So it's not been suspended. I've never gotten a community strike on that other account or anything else. So I ain't done anything wrong. It's just that they ain't letting the info get out.
Right.
You're right. I don't like racists. I
I
don't
don't
like racists.
typing. I mean, the only thing it is stereotyping.
Yeah.
You know,
Word 'em up's right. Word 'em up TV's right. I don't like it. I hate it.
I mean,
There's no need for it.
I
You know?
look at the regular news on Yahoo or something like that. All I see is one stereotype after another. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, we hate this guy. We hate this guy. We hate this guy. Well, what this guy do that is interfering with whatever you're doing to hate him so much?
Yeah, I did word 'em up. You said king of the community guideline strikes, pointing at your name, and then it says Tammy does not like that racist shit. You can say what you want, but passion don't lie. I did see that. Word 'em up.
No, that has all to do with social engineering, social control,
Yep.
and alarmist extremism.
Yep. I don't like racists. I hate it. There's no need for it. You know, just because someone has a different color skin than me, don't mean he can't be smarter than me. It don't mean that he could be anything better than me. It don't. Just because he got a different color skin.
It's something I just realized. I mean, just
All right, Chris.
talking about it. Um, if I can look a man in the eye, okay, that's where I judge somebody. I don't judge anything by what's on the exterior of that, but I have, it just dawned on me. I was about to say that, and it just dawned on me. I've met a few blind people that for some reason I can't get away from that, because when I look them in the eye, I don't have that feedback.
Right.
And I don't know. It's not an intentional thing. I think that's something to do with being a mammal. I don't know, but it's just something that And
I never had a problem with blind people. As a matter of fact, I found blind people to be
right
some.
away. I mean, who came up with this wonderful motto called Black Lives Matter? That's bullshit. Equal rights matter, and you only have one enemy left.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Black Lives Matter. Well, are you a black, or are you a black, or are you a black, white, or are you a white, black? No. What? And I seen a story on Yahoo. 37 flavors of black give their opinion. What?
Oh no! The one that also get me too is the 8 steps of knowing that all white people are racist, and they give you the different categories that supposedly every white person on Earth falls in. That is a racist category.
Well, here's a problem. It's a step by step. How not to think is what
right. That's exactly what it is. Even the black people are having a fit. The black people here, they wanted to try to put it in the schools and start teaching young people this at schools. Okay, and the black people are having a fit, saying, "Do not put it in my schools." They're saying, "Do not put it in the schools for my kids to learn."
Is Abraham Lincoln white or black?
Think with purple polka dots.
Well, my point is, who's the guy that invented the cotton gin?
He was black guy. Yeah, black guy.
You know something? I can't remember his name.
Right.
And the reason being,
I can picture him.
Creating a subcategory and then placing his name, rather than raising his name up to the same place as Abraham Lincoln, because you don't think white, black, or anything else. You just think of the historic accomplishment he made.
I can picture his picture in my brain. I just can't think of the name.
Well, I'm sorry. All that hair on it, how on his face, how could you tell if he was white or black anyway?
Well, believe me, in that black and white picture of that man, that pure white ass beard, contrasted to that black skin, and that pure white ass afro he had. In contrast to his black skin, because he was very dark black. The man was very dark black.
What I'm trying to say is when we sit there and we say that this is black culture, this is white culture, instead of giving them the credit that they deserve by just saying their name.
Eli Whitney. There you go. Yeah. Eli Whitney.
And
the guy
that actually created plasma. the guy that sit there and was able to make it so no matter what blood type you were, they could give you this blood, and it was called plasma. Do you know that he bled to death outside of a whites only hospital?
Well,
And you know where I learned that? It wasn't from an accidental bumping around in the news or something like that. It was from MASH 4077. When they had this guy that came in that he didn't want to have black blood, so they sit there and iodined his skin and stuff like that and tricked him into thinking, oh, we must have gave you the wrong blood. Now you're a black. You know,
there's one I can remember though.
Script on this ridiculous.
There's one black man I can remember though is Harvey Kellogg. He made the first peanut butter.
Peanut butter, yeah, that's another one. Kellogg's.
Harvey Kellogg.
And Jemima, the reason why she got that was in honor of her work. She worked with children and fed the poor. And Aunt Jemima was the inspiration in order to create this thing. It was dedicated to her feeding the poor.
Right.
And now that honor is now taken away because she's black. Because of our abuse of it. Actually, other people's abuse of it. Taking an honor and turning it into something to be shameful. This is all social engineering. It's bullshit. And once you're aware of it, it's hard not to see, especially in the news anymore. One of the ideas I had was untwisted news, where if they use ridiculous claim, I would sit there and say concrete hard claim, just reverse the flavor text. Okay. Unfortunately, that's actually extraordinary because you can't do it. They have made the news, quote, so absurd in their stereotyping and stuff. The only thing I can do, how do you follow the opposite of Indian or Spanish? What is the opposite of Spanish? Now, if we sit there and say white and black, okay, we have opposites there somehow, but we don't have opposites when we say Hispanic or Indian.
I don't see no freaking opposites anywhere.
Exactly. But I mean, this is again.
When you ask that, I'm like, I don't know.
Failure of our own language. But these things, the problem with discussing any of them is the fact that a lot of people don't realize that this is happening to them. Just like I didn't realize just till now when I was going to make that comment that if I met a blind man, that I have had problems giving them the credit of their name and their accomplishments rather than looking them in the eye because I can't.
Actually, I've never had a problem with a blind person ever.
No, I've never had a problem with them, but I realize that on first impression, if I can't look them in the eye, that I realize that a lot of my impression for not being a racist is the fact that I depend on being able to look at them in the eye.
Well, I can tell you now, I've never had like I'm saying, I've never had a problem with a blind person. I have always been impressed with blind people and some of the capabilities they are able to do. I knew a blind girl in Tallahassee, Florida. That girl walked 5 blocks to the Capitol building in Tallahassee, Florida, where her job was, without even a stick or anything. The girl was amazing.
My own experience, and it was visiting a friend's house, and he had a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was we could sense where that dog was anywhere in the house. It had such a high presence. I don't know what it is, spiritual, whatever you want, but you knew somehow, instinctually, exactly where that dog was in the house at all times. If you walked into that house, you realized immediately that there was a dog there, whether there was evidence of that or not. It was real weird. Mm-hmm. But it was like sight beyond sight. You can develop that. And I honestly believe it because of that experience with that dog. And it was partly fear, and it was partly just the presence of this beast. I mean, the thing was a beast. It was 160 pounds. It was Mastiff mixed with a wolf.
Well, that's a big no.
Yeah, it was 180 pounds, dude. I guarantee that. It's every bit of mass as a large man.
Yeah,
Teeth.
I've ate two dogs that big before. One was a Great Dane mixed with the Great Pyrenees. Two big, huge dogs anyway. And freaking, you mix those two together, and this thing was a white ass hairy dog that stood when it stood up on its hind legs. It was almost 6 foot tall, standing up on its hind leg. Cut the plastic just went live.
I have all the respect for him. I'm not exactly sure what his full agenda is. He has a passion about, waste and trash. I can understand that, but I wish he'd, focus on it rather than being so broad-banded sometimes, because there's a lot of things that, privately in discussion, there's a lot of ideas and things that he's come up with that I think that if he made or allowed in like a, or something like that, that other people would.
Oh, poor Bobby Bishop, man. That is one butthurt individual.
Oh,
He leaves a thing in comments, so the only way I could read it, he deleted it, saying that he's how do you get it? Proud to have a rapist piece of shit in the chat. I shared the video to Discord for you.
oh,
Really
God.
disappointed to see the real Tammy Lynn. I enjoyed the channel until today.
Real people are that is just trying to create animosity.
Right.
That's easy. And then
Bobby,
back with that,
Bobby, dude.
it'll be easy to spot because they're going to be criticizing that too. Like I said, as soon as you sit there and you realize the stereotyping is the biggest tool they have, and you remove that and you just look at the facts,
Yeah.
you can make your own decision up. You don't need these guys in order to make those determinations for you.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you posting that video in Discord. If you're talking about posting the deal with the company fucking over people, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But Bobby, you need to just chill, dude. Chill.
No, you don't understand, man. A lot of these people, there's basically three people out there, and C.J. Grissom said this in an interview 3 years ago. Okay, I think it was News Now Houston was interviewing him in a park, and they had police behind him and stuff like that, and he was talking about the work that he had done and how the the police, there's people in the community that are just simply saying, what can I do? How can I help? And they think that they're helping the police and stuff like that. There's people that they actually recruit, to allow them to think whatever they want, but to be able to sit there and put, hey, something, that guy over there just did something, stereotype, something thinking, dogma. And all of a sudden, they can sit there and mold what is going to be happening in that environment. And then there's a third person that is out recruiting those people, that is paid individuals.
Right.
Okay. It only takes one person to be a paid individual to direct up to about 30 or 40 people within a group, because they could have, like the secretary for their group. If you have an organized group such as business or something, the secretary could be the one that's the broken cog in the wheel. And their influence on that crowd is extreme. They could sit there and sway 40 or 50 people, in their speech. It is more the fact that they can sway somebody in their speech rather than what the facts are now. And I've watched it happen over and over again. I mean, that's why I'm out here, is to warn people about people like that. Unfortunately, they act as though they're your friends. But as soon as they have that shield, penetrated by anybody that they don't want around, they immediately run. And what did he do? He went to Discord and threatened you. That's social control, dude.
No. I think what he was saying is he put the video out of the company fucking over people in Discord, which I appreciate. If I'm taking that right, that's what he did. It's just he didn't like the idea that I had you here and all that. But he just needs to chill out on that.
Well,
He,
unfortunately, I've been here for over 3 years. I never made it a secret who I was or what I was. Never.
right.
Okay. And I'm not the one that sat there and gave the idea of looking up records. For me, trying to find records that I have not had access to or accidentally bump into something is just how they covered up to 15 witnesses that were supposed to be present during this violent rape.
Right.
2 of her best friends are supposed to be in the room if you read it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you? She has 2 of her bestest friends in the room while I'm raping her. And they're just standing there looking.
Right.
Where's their witness statements? We have her statement. Where's their witness statements? You see, if they would have bumped into something or a document that would have shown the fact that these other 2 witnesses were interviewed and that was withheld, that's a very important document to me.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. Go dig around. Okay. I've said it before. I was guilty of not being a gentleman. I should not have said and perhaps done a couple of things that I did, but it was in the presence of everyone in the house.
Right.
Okay. And we had 4 people living upstairs. We had 2 people temporarily living on our couch. We had my father. We had myself. And directly behind my bedroom was Chris Powers' room, which is not the same Chris Powers as might be in the chat right now.
Right.
And there's no way that anything would happen in the circle of the house, because what in this was in the center of the circle, because you could walk from the front room, past the front bedroom into my room, turn right, walk through that room into Chris Powers' room, turn right again, walk into the family room and the computer room in the back room, turn right again, walk into the kitchen, walk into the living room, and repeat. It was a circle built around the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can see this layout in your mind. There's no way of yelling and not being heard in that house from one end of the house to the other.
Right.
Okay, there's no way. So, if you want to believe statements like the rage has left me and stuff like that, if you don't understand where that's coming from, I'm sorry, you've never been a parent.
Mm-hmm.
You've never dealt with anyone past the grade of 5th grade, maybe, to understand where that kind of anger and words are coming from. It's not coming from me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. What the hell? Actually,
I mean, she got embarrassed by at least 25 people in the room or in the house, and the entire house knew about it.
right.
So none of them, and I couldn't interview any of them. My lawyer didn't interview anybody. There was something just really wrong with that, and all the time my father's in and out of the hospital with Alzheimer's and various other problems that he was imagining he was having. So my hands were full, man. I got like 6 driving with no license or insurance in less than a month because I had to take my father to the hospital. So
I understand that one. I had to do something similar to with my mom, but I didn't get caught. That was the only difference.
no, they were looking for me by then. You see, that was right after I got charged. I still had to take my father to the hospital. I was too busy dealing with family issues. I was not interested in anybody. It'd be another two years before I met my second wife.
Right.
You know, so anyway, yeah, it was. I'll be honest with you. I mean, if it wasn't for the experience, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Right.
I mean, that's from the outward in. Okay, I know my values. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know what I cannot stand for. I know what I will stand for, and I know what I will stand up for. And when I'm seeing these injustices that are unnecessary only because of the trick of the mind or a trick of words, I'm sorry, that game is over when you sit there and introduce computer logic. If you introduce computer logic and just read the statute, it's gone. The pretense, the magnificence of the judge, the whole 9 yards is gone. Now, the best example, how many times have you heard that you can't sue a judge and you can't sue a prosecutor and stuff like that?
I've heard that a lot.
Well, did you know it's absolutely true? You can't sue a title.
Right.
Title, it's like saying you can't sue the state. No, you can't sue the state. There is no such thing as the state. It's an artificial being, which they have declared to be as equal as a person in a court of law to become your adversary. But the biggest thing here is the fact that when we go to court, we forget that we're more powerful than lawyer. Because when we go to court and speak, it is our language, not theirs, that we are now being judged by. And they don't like that. They can't play their game then.
Right.
So that's also why I came out and has produced all these things about being pro se.
Common sense. They don't like common sense.
Here's what's interesting. I went through the Ferguson riots. I wasn't online. I was actually in the trenches. I have footage 3 minutes before the actual riot, and I had enough sense when I heard we need riot gear, more riot gear. What? There's no riot. Oh, you mean they're making one? I dipped 1 block to my left, doubled back on them gathering in this one place to get their riot gear on, okay, and got behind them with me behind them, and then in front of them was the crowd that they were about to attack. And I only escaped it by about 6 minutes. I came back behind them because they were keeping people away from what they were doing in front. You see what I'm saying? But they weren't trying to corral these people. These were the people that came out to see what the heck was going on because it's happening right there in their street. And business owners, stuff like that, coming out and looking down the street, just go back in, everything's fine, blah, blah, blah. Let us kill who we want. And at any rate, I made my way back within a half a block of the Quick Trip when it caught on fire. And you could see 2 CS gases going and breaking the windows into the Quick Trip. Okay, that's what actually set the fire off, because you could see the arcs of the CS gas going over there. Okay, so that's what actually, because the CS gas is incendiary. After that, I worked with the lawyers. And if you want to sit there and say, oh, what a cheap trick. Okay, yeah, fine, but it fed me. I was homeless. I was staying at the Rice Shelter. Okay. And that's 150 people in one floor in one room. It's a little bit more crowded than Army barracks. At any rate, they'd kick us out at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we'd get maybe about 6 hours sleep. And in the winter, it was impossible to sleep. And this is going from winter to summer to spring. This is a transitionary period, so everyone's miserable. No one ever got any real sleep. Those that did woke up normally with their wallet missing. Anyway, I went down to the federal building, and they had the interns the entire time up there going through the hard books. So I just mixed in with the interns. The thing of it is, before Ferguson, I already figured out if, as long as I was wearing a three-piece suit, no matter how badly I smelled or whatever, I could go up there and take a nap with a law book in front of me, and they'd leave me alone thinking I was a lawyer that was just having a particularly bad day.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I was quite commonly found asleep in the library, especially in the mornings. And then, all of a sudden this Ferguson thing happened. You know what? They had Subway delivered 3-4 times a day up there. As long as you were working, nobody questioned you eating. So I survived because of the riot, ate off of the interns looking up laws in order to overturn the 5-second rule. How's that for experience?
There you go.
You see, people being a volunteer, if you put out to a community, your needs will always be taken care of.
Yeah.
It's a philosophy, I admit, but it's the same thing as my mother taught me. Break your bread. If someone comes into your house, always offer them something to eat. It doesn't matter what the story is. As long as you sit there and break your bread, you'll never go. You know something? I've actually never been hungry for more than about 12 hours in my entire life.
Well, that just depends on what type of community you live in as far as the offering something to eat. Because if you don't, like in my beliefs, if someone could come into your house, you can see what they want, but if they aren't offered a drink or something to eat, then that's when they should know and realize, okay, you said your piece, now you need to go because there's something going on that don't need to be there for your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a personal family problem or whatever. That's how you do that.
Well, one of the hardest lessons, and
it.
this did happen in my lifetime. Okay, now at the time he was no longer, quote, my worst enemy. But my mother taught me if your worst enemy knocks on the door asking for help, okay, to give him that help. It doesn't mean that you still get suckered. It just means that you give him that help. Imagine the humility that your worst enemy, you have to go to your worst enemy and ask him for help with your head hanging. How desperate is that? And I actually had it happen to me. His name was Whitey.
I've seen people have to have it.
He was a gang member. There was a huge amount of animosity. I'd actually had fisticuffs with him several times in the street, okay, for picking on one person or another. And 7 years later, he appeared on my door and was asking me for help. He stayed at my house for 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay. And he was markedly the worst enemy, the most outspoken person in my life at that time.
Right.
So, it's not a matter of being a hypocrite. It's a matter of realizing that you are.
Well, man, like I said, when I started this, I wasn't gonna stay on long. It's an hour. I'm tired. I'm finally getting to where I'm tired enough where I'm wanting to go to sleep. I've been 2 days without sleep, so yeah.
Can I make a suggestion? I mean, this is self-satisfying. I'm not trying to be, ignorant, but I do have a lot of problems sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I created this short story thing on WDRN. Right now, it's the only thing playing. I don't have any rock and roll because I had to reformat the server again.
Yeah.
I do it the way, I got all the way down, all the scheduling, and everything was falling off. It's like, oh my God, I know what I did. And I had to start over again.
Right.
So anyway, right now it's just story time with relaxing music. Now, the relaxing music comes from Aaron V. Cox. And I found out that if I put that just a little below conversation level in the room, okay, and try to listen to the story, that my mind will latch on to the story right away. But then all of a sudden there's enough interrupts in the music where it tries to carry you into the music. It'll be, a highlight of the music or something that your mind will grab onto that. And after it switches back and forth, I can actually, turn my mind off and go back to sleep.
Right.
Okay. It's just something I bumped into, and I think that it'll catch on, but does everyone have that ability in order to, or that inability in order to not switch back and forth and eventually go to sleep? You can
I
check.
know when it comes to my freaking insomnia, that's what happens. It don't matter. I tried everything there is known to man. The only thing that works is if I take one of their sleeping pills. But if I take one of their sleeping pills, then I sleep for like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I sleep
Hammers
for
work.
yeah, yeah, because I don't take fucking pills. I won't touch them.
No,
I hate
I
taking
don't.
medication.
I don't take aspirin or anything like that. It's in my medical records, and I have it in my wallet. The only time that they give me any type of medication or pharmaceuticals if it's life threatening, such as I'm having a heart attack or something. So,
But I hate that. I hate taking it, and so the stuff works too good on me when I do take it. So, like I said, what a normal insomniac would take for their insomnia, it would put them to sleep for like a few hours, maybe 8 hours if they're lucky. It'll put me to sleep for like 2 or 3 days.
right. Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons why I do smoke a little bit. Last 2 weeks, schedules mean nothing. I'll go to sleep at, noon and
Mm-hmm.
wake up at 8 and go back to work and then go to sleep at 3 and wake up at 4.
Sure.
you know, um, it's just really messed up because I mean, I've just been uh, trying to get the schedule right. I've got too many handicaps and I can't use any automation. I have to actually manually time everything out. So it's a mess.
But on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. You try to have a good day.
Hey, I'm on a good one. Thank you. I might be going live here in a few minutes in order to read
Well,
a screenshot that I did for Ohio earlier.
all
I
right.
don't think it came out right. So, all right. Well, I appreciate being on your panel today, and you have a
Yeah,
good.
no problem, man. No
All right.
problem.
And
You
like I
try to
said,
have a good night or good day. I'm so tired. I don't even know the difference between night and day right now.
yeah,
So,
that's what I was saying. But if you visit again,
yeah.
definitely. Thank you.
All right.
All
You
right.
have a good one, man. I'm out of here.
All right. Bye bye.